Second Nature for Children is in the building. Coach, how you doing?
As always, man, great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing absolutely great. As the family come in, I hope everyone subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, and make sure that you share this information. And if you have any comments, make sure you shoot me a comment and let me know what you think about the information that we're putting out. Something that strike a nerve, whether it's good or bad. But now, if it's bad, make sure you can bag it up. That's all. I want to take it good or bad. And like I say once again, if you disagree and have another perspective, I have no problem with it. But just make sure that when I give facts, and if you come against my facts, you make sure that you bring something that can bag it up. And if you have a different opinion about something, and then I have no problem. I let you give your perspective and you have your opinion. I will respect that. I won't try to push my, if it's an opinion, on to you. So you never have to worry about that. But like I said, if I give a fact, you go against that fact. You make sure you bring something to debunk it. So as you come in, YouTube and Facebook family, make sure that you go over to YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, and make sure that you share this information. And share with me if you hear any more profound information that we are giving out that'll help take your life to another level. I would like to hear it or see it. Coach, I want to talk to you a little bit about what would help Blacks more. What would help Blacks more, knowing or believing? Now, me, myself, I rather know than to believe. I rather know. But I want to ask you about something. I was doing a little strolling myself, and I don't know if you know the guy, Jamal Bryant, I think that's his name, who took over Eddie Long Church out there in Decatur.
And yeah, I think he just got married. He just got married.
Okay, I know they was talking about getting married. He was talking about getting married. I don't know if he has done it or not. But you know, he stays in a lot of mess. He stays in a lot of mess. I do know that just from checking things out. But I heard him say back a while ago that it's time for a new Christianity. It's time for it to be taught another way. Yeah. He said it's time for a new Christianity, and it's time to be taught another way. And then he gave a sermon, and I didn't look to see how long ago it was, but I know that a lot of other bishops and a lot of other preachers really spoke against him. And he said this here. He said for 85% of Jesus' life, he spent it doing his earthly father's will and not the Lord's will. And I'm like, whoa. He said 85% of Jesus' life was out of control. Woo! So that really upset a lot of other bishops. And I had to think about that for a second. And I may reach out to him because when I sit down and kind of thought about it, I was like, you know what? He may have a point. And I'm going to tell you where, and I don't know if this where he was going. In the Bible, all the miracles and all the things that we know in the perfect Jesus and the lamb that has no blemish and all of this, we're dealing with 3 years. We're only dealing with 30 to 33 as it's recorded in the Bible.
True.
I just want you to stay with me what came to mind. So all of this that we're hearing about this perfect man, we're only dealing with 3 years. Now, there are other writings about Jesus being a little boy, being very devilish. There are other writings. They're not in the Bible, but there are other writings. So within the Bible, most church people would not study or read outside of the Bible, and most church people would not even read in the Bible. They would just go and listen to someone. And so the image has been put in our head that this is a perfect being. But from birth to 12 years old in the Bible, we have no recording of how this Jesus was as a little boy. And I would love to get comments from anybody who can explain this. And then it speaks on Jesus being 12 years old, where he was left at a festival. And that's the last time you hear about Jesus from 12 to 30 in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying to myself, okay, Jamal, you may have something, because from 0 to 30, what was Jesus doing? It's not recorded in the Bible. So he may be saying that he was living like a regular person or a regular man. You may, like I said, you may can find some writings outside of the Bible about this Jesus character, but it's not in the Bible. So the flawless person that we've been taught about is only dealing with 3 years of their lives, and that's from 30, when Jesus started his ministry, till he was crucified. So if he's coming from that angle and living a regular life, living as his father, not God, but as Joseph would have him to live, and so I can kind of see where he's going. That 85% of Jesus' life was not spent doing God's will, because you have writings where he was married. So once it's not in the Bible, and then certain religious people, they just, well, I don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it. They just shut down. And one of the worst things to do is to just shut down to knowledge. At least listen to it, investigate it, and check it out, instead of just being locked in. But that's how, we have been enslaved with believing in something. What you think about that? Did you hear about that when he said?
I hear about it. I ain't hear about it, but to me, it really don't matter, man. To me,
Okay.
personally, it don't matter to me, because I believe in evolving.
Okay.
I believe it matters to people who are on that religious or religion point, per se, as opposed to the spiritual. We know no man is perfect. No woman is perfect. Okay? Having said that, we're human. We gonna learn, or we ought to learn from our mistakes. We ought to evolve as human beings. So I'm doing my best every which way to do that. I'm not worrying about who are saying, yo, man, you are A, you are B, you are C. Now, I'm not worried about that. I am a worst critic, my harshest critic, I should say, and I'm doing my best to be my best self. So I do my self-evaluation, all that. I've listened to other people, you know what I mean? But I'm not closed-minded. I can say, man, you can do better over here. That wasn't right, and I do that. And I'm saying all that to say, that to me don't matter to me. I can see people getting upset because it brings out a whole dynamic of the average person, and they don't want that. Okay? They don't want that. You can imagine if that is brought out by the majority of leaders, and they said that's the case, half of them would have a shrinking congregation. They already have a shrinking congregation. You know what I mean? So to me, like I say, it don't really matter, because if you're talking about evolving, man, hey, and you dealing with spirituality, hey, that really don't matter.
It was just something I definitely ran by, and I wanted to throw it out there and see what the believers, since we were talking about knowing and believing. And so I posed a question, what will help Blacks more, knowing or believing? So I want to make sure that we have a reference, the word help, to provide with what is needed or useful. When someone helps you, they'll give you what you need, or what's useful. To know is to be sure of, to have true information about. Knowing is having knowledge. So I just want to make sure we have a reference to be well informed, okay? And having knowledge is simply what one knows, all right? Then when we deal with believe, believe is just something that you accept as true or real, not meaning that it is.
True,
It just,
true.
yeah, just something that you accept. And when you accept, that means that you are willingly to take it or receive it. Once again, doesn't mean that it's true. Just because you have accepted something doesn't mean that it's true. So I rather know than to believe. I rather know. Now, if I'm going to believe in anything, then I'm gonna believe in me. That's who I'm gonna believe in. If I'm gonna believe in anything, I'm gonna believe in me. Now, but I want to show you the correlation between the two words, because there is a correlation between knowing and believing, and I want to show you the correlation. The correlation is, and I'm gonna show you what they have in common, that these two words are two of the most powerful words that you can use that can help take your life to another level. That if you know something, if you believe in something, for you to achieve something, you have to deal with these two words. You have to either know you can do it or you have to believe that you can do it. But there is one word that must be connected to these two words in order for them to work for you. And that one word is action. I don't, that's the correlation between knowing and believing. That one word, action, have to be connected to both of those words in order for you to take your life to another level. Because you can know all you want to, but if you don't act on what you know, it means nothing. And I'm dealing with the religious people now, that they have a belief. But one thing I don't see a lot of them doing at a very high level, I don't see them acting on their belief. And so what happens is, when you don't take action to what you know or believe, you just kill two of the most powerful words that could help take your life, like I said, to another level. And like I said earlier, believe in yourself. Don't miss this though. When I say believe in yourself, I'm talking about that source that place from which anything comes from is obtained. I'm talking about the origin, that which dwells within you. So if you're going to believe in that source that dwells within you. Don't think it's just you doing it, but make sure that you have that connection, because you have a dwelling and you have to connect to that dwelling. If you're going to believe in it, you believe in that, believe in yourself and get it done, because it have to be connected to belief in order for you to take action to get anything done. You have to make that connection. So I'm gonna stop right there. And so I rather know than to believe. And like I said, if I'm gonna believe in anything, I'm gonna believe in myself, and I'm gonna believe in that source that dwells within me. And that's how I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna take action. What you think about that?
I'm the same here, man. But here's the thing with knowing. There's a lot of people know a lot, and like you said, they don't act on it for whatever reason, be it fear, be it you didn't make it, fingers pointing with someone else. And I get all of that. Yeah, I prefer to know. And once I know, it's up to me. That's for myself. For other people, I can't speak on that. But once I know, then I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and it comes back to the same evolving as a person, man. You know, you know where your shortcomings are. If you know your lack of information, then you do your research and you find out what you need to find out. Okay, then you act on it. But you can have it, and we live in society. You talk about Christians. Let's use that as an example. They're acting, but they're not acting on their belief. But they're acting every Sunday. They're acting. You know, they get clean. They're acting. Why is society so going in to me in the wrong direction? But we're what Christian society, right? Supposedly, but we heading down the wrong path. It seems like to me. We got more violence more than ever before. Now, especially against kids, man. So what are we doing? Is it time for a little upheaval in that regard? Possibly. Can what he say contribute to that? Maybe people might start thinking differently. I don't know. But maybe it's a time for change. The same old working. Are we better off now than ever before as a society, as human beings? It's hard, man, to say we are, you know? So back to the question, yeah, I'd rather know myself. But knowing is just a part of it. That's just the initial stage. What you can do then, you know? What are you going to do afterwards? And believe, make sure what you know is the truth. Make sure what you know is the truth. Same with belief. Whatever you believe in, make sure it's the truth, you know? So that's my take, bro.
Well, once again, if they don't take action on either word, like you say, they could be acting because they doing that very well. They doing that very well by acting, but they're not showing any action to knowing and having knowledge of, because it's like this right here. And we can be in denial all we want to. But when you're dealing with the mind, the body, and the soul, as I teach from, a lot of us know, we know we should be exercising. We know. We know we should be exercising. We even have the knowledge that if we don't exercise, what's going to happen? And then, like I say, if a lot of us have gotten to a certain age in life, we're already going through it with the unhealthiness of high blood pressure and heart disease and all of these different things, high cholesterol, all these different things that we're dealing with. A lot of us can barely walk right now. A lot of us, especially, like I say, that 40, 50, 60, 70, man, we barely getting around. When you look around and observe a lot of us, we barely can move. We barely getting around. Now, watch this right here. A lot of us, once again, we drinking too much. We're going to pay a price for it. I see us. We drinking, excessive drinking. Are we smoking? Now, we're not putting our drugs out here, but we don't understand that this alcohol and all of this smoking is a drug just as well, because it tears down the body just as well. Now, the problem that I'm having is that we're doing these things, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. A lot of times we're dealing with a lot of trauma that happened in our lives, and we're trying to escape it. So that's one of the reasons that we're doing a lot of drinking or we're doing a lot of drugs. We're trying to escape something. Now, the problem that I'm having by working with children is that these children that I'm working with, they keep going back home to this unchanging, not evolving group of people that's raising them. So my question would be to the family. You know you're not doing well physically, mentally. A lot of us are dealing with, like I say, mental issues, mental illness, or mental disorders. Not saying that you're crazy, But I can guarantee you that if a lot of us go get checked, it's some type of mental disorder or some type of mental issue or some type of mental illness that we'll be diagnosed with. And I'm not talking about they just diagnosing us because they want to put us on medication. Now, I'm observing some of us out here. Something is wrong mentally. I don't care about in that mood swing and that one day you this way, the next day you that way, and this you got this going up, you depressed. It's something that's going on that's not being addressed. And if we don't address it, then that means this right here. Your kids and your grandkids are watching you and they're following you. So if you're overweight, not exercising, and not taking care of yourself, your children are watching you. You just bringing up a whole nother generation of unhealthy children. Whatever you're dealing with, or whatever trauma that you dealt with in your past that you haven't healed from, psychologically, you may be putting that over on your child and you really don't even understand what you're doing. But you could be hurting that child from whatever you're dealing with because you haven't healed. And now that child is feeling that experience from you. So now you're raising up a child that does not understand taking care of themselves physically because they don't see you taking care of yourself physically. You feed them any and everything. So now they're seeing that you're overweight, you're obese. Now you got a child who's coming up that's overweight or obese. And now you got a lot of things that you have been dealing with mentally. And those children are able to pick those things up. And coach, a lot of us, we know we're not doing well, but we won't take action to do well. And that's hurting our children. It's really hurting our children. What you think about that?
I'm listening to you, and this is what comes to mind. Can you know something and still don't believe it? Can you know something? Okay, you're talking about excessive, right?
Okay.
You know you're drinking, whatever you're doing, too much. Whatever you dabbling in, too much. Gambling, whatever.
Okay, but you don't believe that you are.
Because you're still doing it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So as you talking, I'm thinking that, and to some degree, it can't only be fear. You got the knowledge, and you fearful of not. Okay, you know, it's hindering you. You know, it's harmful. Evidently, you don't believe because you're still doing it. You know, so that's what comes to mind. Man, look, I always say we have an opportunity to get the good, the bad, and the ugly. But any subject, any topic, we have the privilege now. It's right there to our fingertips, right? Why are we still doing what we're doing, knowing what we know? Now, if we got an answer to that question, that solve a whole lot of things. Why are we still doing what we're doing? You don't think you deserve better? You don't want to be better? You don't want to be your best self? So you a grown man, a grown woman, someone got to convince you to try to be your best self? You just talk about the kids and the grandkids. I think you went too deep because a lot of people not thinking that far. Because if they were, they wouldn't be doing certain things they're doing. You know, what would it take? What would it take? So at the end of the day, man, it comes down to you, that individual, man. You, that man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, what have you, look at yourself and look, man, I need to do better. And not only say it, but do it. It comes down to you, your choice, man. I know the choices I'm making, and it is not detrimental to my existence. I'm not going that route. So that's it for me.
And by you saying that, they may know that they may be doing something that's self-destructing, but they don't believe that it is. I think a lot of times, as I think about it, I think a lot of times either the trauma, that's why I said a little earlier, it's things that they haven't healed from. It's things that they haven't addressed. because there's a reason that the excessive alcohol drinking or the drugs or the whatever or the self-destruction, there's a reason. And so as an individual, as you just said, as an individual, you're going to have to sit down and you're definitely going to have to ask yourself, why am I self-destructing? Why won't I go get help? A lot of times we won't even admit that we need help. You know, I don't even believe I need help. And see, a lot of times that's what that comes in at, where if you get on that scale, you know you overweight or you know you obese. You don't believe you are? No, you know you are. But to make that change, coach, a lot of times when people been doing something for so long, it's so hard mentally for them to make that change. What you got to say?
No, that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it right there. You know, because it'll be uncomfortable to change. You got to have that withdrawal. You can have that shakes, whatever it is. You got to, if it's financial, you got to stop spending like you spend. You got to do away with certain things. Folks ain't ready for that, man.
Well,
Ain't
then,
ready for that.
but
So,
then that answers a lot. Then that answers a lot. That answers a lot because we're not ready to make that change in those three areas. Because if you learn how to make that change dealing with the mind, the body, and the soul, it'll literally change your life. And I think a lot of us got comfortable. I think a lot of us not only have gotten comfortable, but destruction has become normal. When we see people overweight or obese, I think in a lot of our eyes, as we get older, we think that, well, that's just the way it is. That you get older, you pick up weight. No,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think a lot of our mindsets is that that's what's supposed to happen, you know, and then to make that change, it really gives you an excuse, and we look for those excuses. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like earlier when we was talking about the preacher, and when the preacher get in trouble or do something crazy, you have a lot of the people within the congregation. The first thing a lot of them say, well, he's human, he's a man, he this, he that. They give him an excuse. But
Excuse,
if
yeah.
if he's a man of God, he's supposed to be a special type of character that has matured to a certain point where he shouldn't be doing certain things. Because why in the hell would you follow someone who's doing worse things than you? That's something wrong with you. And then once again, what happens a lot of times, it gives you an excuse to go out and do something because hell, the preacher did it, so I can do it. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of times we look for excuses. And I think that's really one of the things that's really hurting us when we're dealing with the mind, the body, soul. We're dealing with the mind. I ain't crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with me. No, no, nobody said you was crazy. Just sit down by yourself for a second or two and kind of just analyze your life. Are you really happy? Are you where you want to be in life? You know, fitness wise, where are you? Because your physical fitness is everything. You lose that, you lose your life. So are you happy with where you are physically? And here's the kicker. I've been putting out for over a year because the
Mm.
problem is this right here. Here's the problem. I've been putting out for over a year. If you need help in
Mm.
learning how to connect those three areas that will change your life, all you got to do is hit me up and you and I can start working. And I teach you how to connect those three areas together. And I promise you, they'll change your life. If it's dealing with your fitness, if it's dealing with your mindset, and if it's dealing with your spirit. And I don't care nothing about what religion you are, whether you're religious or not. Just like we spoke on last week and Coach stated, stand on principle. If you learn
Mm.
how to stand, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't care about no standing on no business. You can go take care of your business all you want to. Just because you take care of your business, it don't mean you're gonna be successful by doing certain things. It don't mean you're gonna. You got to stand on principle. That's what you got to stand on. And so I think a lot of us we don't know how to accept help. A lot of us don't know how to ask for help. I think a lot of us are ashamed that we feel like, if we ask for help, we may be embarrassed. You understand what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. Before you die, and you know you're dying, please get help. Please get help. So once again, coach, like I say, I'd rather know than to believe. And if I'm going to believe, I'm gonna make sure that I believe in me. Because if anybody's gonna save me, it's gonna be me. It's gonna be my decision making, and it's gonna be me having a relationship and connected to the source that dwells within me. I'm not reaching out for anything. I'm reaching inward. And it has brought me a long way. And I learned how to connect things together that has catapulted me to another level in life. And until you learn how to make that connection with prayer, building that relationship with that which dwells within you, connecting it to changing, learning how to evolve, learning how to change, connecting it to faith, knowing how to believe, knowing how to see it before it happened, and acting on it, and knowing that you can do all things through whatever your source is, whatever your religion is, that you can do all things through that source that dwells from within you, family, that'll change your life. And it's so sad to see that when we put out information that could help change our lives, we run away from it. We won't listen to it. And that's why I did that video earlier. We are truly addicted to gossip and entertainment. We would take gossip and entertainment over our lives, and we got to do better. And the number one reason we got to do better, because we bringing up a generation of kids that's totally out of control. We're not even in control to help them. So I'm gonna leave it right there, coach. You got 4 minutes. I'm gonna let you close out, and we're gonna get out of here. But as a people, I hope we begin to know, and if we believe, I hope that we begin to take action on the things we know and the things we believe. And if you begin to take action on what you know and what you believe, I promise you, it'll change your life. Coach, you got it. I'm done.
You always talk about observing. When I observe, I see a society is thirsty. They're thirsty. Some of them know they're thirsty. Some don't know they're thirsty. And all we providing is that good water, that good H2O for them to drink. So their body, their life won't be shut down with dehydration. You know? Being in thirsty is whatever trouble you're in. Financial, health-wise, mentally, whatever. What we're providing is that H2O, that water, to quench that thirst, so you won't get dehydrated, so your life won't shut down one aspect or not. We can't make you drink it, though. Some of you don't know you're thirsty. Some of you know, but it is nothing you can do for whatever reason. We can't make you drink it, man. All we providing is the water. I'm gonna keep doing what I can to be the best version of myself and encourage whoever I can. And I'm gonna keep doing this. That's all we can do. You gotta look at that man and woman in the mirror and decide, you wanna keep going the way you're going, or you wanna switch up just to see what happens. That's on you, man. Take a chance. It ain't costing you nothing but a little time. Just take a chance. And as long as you're above ground, you can switch up, you can change, it can get better. Your choice, man. Your choice. So that's my take, man.
I'm done with it, family. Like, share, subscribe, and Coach, once again, I thank you so much for your time. And every time you get that close out, I make sure that I take that information myself, I take it to heart, and I put it to work. So once again, I thank you, and until the next time we come together, I holler.
All right, same to you. Peace out.